here's your host, Alexander Garrett.
Deck those halls, trim those trees, raise up cups of Christmas cheer. I just need to catch my breath. Christmas by myself this year.
Well, actually, I had a very nice Christmas with my family and had friends along the way. But this song I heard at Dunkin' Donuts, Ear Caught My Eye. That's Kylie Mignon and Iggy Pop. Two classics, right? But that instrumental with the horns, that just catches your ear. So I figured I'd share that a little bit with you there. On this edition, you know, I've been doing the Decade in Review, specifically my Decade in Review, because I've had a lot of special moments. And really, the decade kicked off with my second semester at Queens College, which led then to an event 9 years ago in which Howie Rose, the voice of the Mets, Matt Higgins, a member of the Jets organization, and the man who directs the halftime show in the Super Bowl, Frank Supovitz, all joined me on WQMC Radio. So let me let you hear that first, a few minutes of it anyway. And I started out by asking Howie Rose and them, what was it like being back at the college campus studios of WQMC Radio?
Previous incarnation, WQMC, was very instrumental in helping to achieve that, because I spent a lot of time behind the microphone learning about things behind the scenes, learning how to do what you're doing now, Alex, which is run a board and do things apart from just speaking, and that experience is invaluable.
And Frank?
Yeah, I have to say that I'm the polar opposite of Howie. Howie and I got to work together here at WQMC back in the early 70s, and that was just for fun. I really enjoyed doing that. I still enjoy getting involved in media and those kinds of things. But I was totally different. I wanted to study biology. I wanted to pursue an academic career in research. So I studied what I loved, and I'm glad I did. I was working part-time at the same time because when tuition was first imposed, I didn't have the money to spend, so I went to work. I worked at Radio City Music Hall as an usher captain, and an elevator operator, and an upholsterer's assistant, and whatnot. And that ended up becoming my career. I ended up in the theatrical business and the event production business through Radio City. So I got to study what I loved when I was here. I got to do what I loved when I was done. And I think my scientific background has actually helped me a little bit in business, because I've been able to actually experiment with a lot of the events that we one of the best examples being Pro Bowl, and how we've experimented with it on the scheduling basis to see what happens. So I've gotten to use the experimental design motif in my professional career anyway.
Matt?
When I came here, I had a big fear of public speaking. Actually, the last thing I wanted to do was to speak in front of an audience. And then my first year here, my brother and I got involved in resurrecting the dormant Speech and Debate Society, and he was the one who was into it. I wasn't. I was a reluctant participant, but it was called QC Forensics. I'm sure it still exists right now. And through that experience, I really learned how to speak to an audience. It gave me confidence. It really developed all those different skills, and I've used that to this day. I mean, every time I speak in 1, 2, 3s and organize my thoughts with an opening and a conclusion. And that all started at Queens College. Also, I started a political party when I was here, and that lasted about a year. But the experience of organizing and running for office and ultimately losing, carried me into politics. And after I left Queens College, I went from being a reporter to working for Mayor Giuliani, and then ultimately I was his press secretary. So I went from a kid who couldn't speak in front of a class to speaking in front of hundreds of journalists. So Queens College, really, I attribute most of my career success to this building.
So the Tea Party was invented here.
The Tea Party was invented here, and I handed it off for a little bit, and I'll take the mantle again. It was called United Students Coalition, but we couldn't get on the ballot because UP was pretty effective in keeping us off. I keep that grudge, by the way.
Now, what's it feel like for all of you to come back to your alma mater?
Well, for me, it's just so rewarding, because I instantly flash back to the days when I literally dreamt of doing what I'm doing now, and to sort of relive what was the foundation for all of that is a very humbling feeling, which hopefully you'll get to experience someday, because, as soon as you come back, little things like smells and sights trigger memories that take you right back to, in my case, the mid-1970s. And, I know I've told you this before, Alex, and I always tell it to kids, whether I'm here or even in high school, speaking to students. This school in particular, having been here, has such a wonderful, wide-ranging curriculum. And the one thing I wish I could get back is the fact that I didn't take advantage of very much of it when I was here, because I was so single-minded about what I wanted to do. But as Matt and Frank can certainly attest to, there's a wide, wide world out there apart from broadcasting or the media. I would beg students to take things that don't necessarily interest them, that you're going to benefit from later on. Take a business course, even if that's not your chosen field of profession. Take a history course. Take a sociology course. Take biology. Take advantage of what this school has to offer, because it transcends just this radio station or the media, or if they still call it, CAS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to say that I missed Queens College the moment I stepped off campus. I loved every minute of being here. I actually grew up in the neighborhood, really about a 20-minute walk from here. So I'm a Queens guy at heart. Born and raised here. I was here until I was in my 30s. Not here at Queens College, but in Queens. And any chance that I could get when I could be back in the neighborhood just to walk the campus has been something I've always made a point to do.
Yeah, I love this place. It's great to be back. I came here. I grew up like a lot of folks in Queens, scrappy, poor. This was my mother came here. It was she actually came here on a GED, single parent, 4 boys, struggling to raise them all, and then not only received her BA here, but then went on and got 2 master's degrees. So for me, Queens College was about opportunity. My whole family went here, and I used to love going to class at night with these kids who are dealing with some of the toughest circumstances, and were doing everything they could to fight to better themselves, better their families, and it really is a special place. I guess every college has that, but I feel like here in particular, there were a lot of people on a mission from all over the world just trying to get to a better place.
Now, before I move any further, I just want to say thank you to the departments that allow me the opportunity to talk to people like Howie Rose, like Frank Supovitz, like legal counsel for the NBA, even Howie Benjamin, and Emmy Award-winning producer Michael Weissman, and Gail Marquis. I want to thank the former president of Queens College, James Meiskin, for giving me that opportunity through the Department of Alumni, Sarah Kahn, Dave D'Amato, another good friend of mine from the Alumni Department, and of course, John Andrzejak and VP Joe Bertolino. We miss you, Joe. And my buddy Andrew and others, Queens College Athletics. Before this decade closed, I want to say thank you to Michael Sporton, Rob Twyble, of course, my buddy Chris Oliva, the Oliva family, and my roommate. Now, I don't know if you ever got a chance to do this, but calling your college roommate's 1,000th career point was quite a thrill, and I got to do just that when my buddy Khalil McDonald on the Queens College men's basketball team did this back in 2012.
Big possession. Piasecki inbounds it to Akamu on the far side, on the near side, in front of Sack's bench. Now, Akamu passing the timeline. Gets it over to Morty. Morty, what are they going to do? They're going to get to Piasecki. Piasecki underneath to McDonald. McDonald has it. Shot is good! 1,000 points! 1,000 career points for Khalil McDonald, making him the 25th player in the school's history to achieve that honor. Hold on 1 second. After that timeout, as he earns point 1,000.
That indeed was an extremely special night, and what was the experience like behind the scenes as the announcer, as the play-by-play guy? First of all, I think Mike, Rob, Tom Emberley, they all instilled in me this idea of getting things together, of getting it together, of making it work, of while the wind is blowing around us on the baseball field, staying focused exactly on the play at hand, on the play in front of you. Meeting deadlines. I mean, those were things I picked up at Queens And I had a fun social life for 4 years. Crazy how time flew. But I guess to me, it was like I just felt like I could be myself no matter what. And I thank Queens College for that. I thank my friends for that. And I was very humble when I got an award my senior year for the work I did. I didn't expect it, but it was special. And now, 6 years later, ending the decade, in talk radio as a producer, I've learned a lot here too. You know, WQMC radio was great, but that was just the engineering of the board. These have now commercials got to get cut. These have audio cuts you have to get. This was such a leap from college radio. But again, thank you to those who afforded me the chance to do all of this in a 4-year time and beyond. I still do work for Queens when I can. And no matter what, the journey had its stumbles. There is no doubt about it this decade. The journey had stumbles as an announcer, as a play-by-play guy. Couldn't get up for the gym sometimes at 6 a.m. to wake up at the fitness center. But along this journey, I always have felt support, no matter how things spiraled either out of control or whatnot. There were people there to keep me on my toes, keep me back up, lift me back up, keep it going. And I feel that very same way here as a talk radio producer at AM 970 The Answer. And I want to show you, I want to play for you a little montage I made for my first year that's been expanded a little bit, obviously. It's 6 years now. That I still feel hits home as this was the second part of my journey in the decade.
Major Alex Garrett, you got to understand, you're a new jack here.
The staff at AM 970 The Answer would like to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and the happiest of New Year's.
Hi, I'm Alexander Garrett, producer for Kevin McCullough Radio, wishing you and yours a very happy Hanukkah and a very Merry Christmas.
Season's greetings. This is Matthew Sambolin, Operations Manager for AM 970 The Answer, wishing all of you a very healthy and happy New Year and a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from AM 970 The Answer.
Turn the page. 5:51 on WMCA 570. I'm Alexander Garrett with the weather. Right now, a cold and clear 25 degrees. High expected to be 34, and low for the day, 23 degrees. Once again, right now, 25 degrees and mostly clear. I'm Alexander Garrett, WMCA 570. Happy New Year, everybody.
My engineer is Alex. Alex is mission control. He keeps me in orbit, and he's a great guy, and he cracks jokes, and he's a nice guy.
Studio operations today by Matt Sambolin and Alex Garrett, and our engineer and technical coordinator is Mike Infantino. Our next Seton Hall broadcast will be on Wednesday night from Madison Square Garden, the opening round of the Big East tournament as the Pirates take on Butler.
You know what's so funny is Jason, our intern, found the script to that SNL.
Actually, got to give credit to Alex Garrett there.
Did Alex find that sketch?
I did.
We couldn't find it. It's a Bud Light parody.
And found it.
Alex, where did you find it? On Yahoo you found it?
On Yahoo. They had a whole list of different sports-related things with Robin Williams, and there you
Alex
were.
Alex is our young engineer sitting in because Al Gattuso's got social obligations.
But we have a milestone, Alex, just before we started the show, let me know that this was his 1-year anniversary here with 970. And I want to congratulate him on a year with the company. I've been broadcasting for over 17 years now, and he is one of the best, brightest young producers in the business. And I want to just give him a big congratulations.
Bro, we are honored to have you as part of the team, and you do a good job for us. And I'm just so grateful that you dedicate yourself to always being better and always improving. So we're just honored to have you around these parts at Kevin McCullough.
The voices you heard on that montage, by the way, are Curtis Sliwa, Frank Morano, Joe Piscopo, Jerry Hickey of Invite Health, Kevin McCullough, and Dan Cahigas. Gary Cohen, of course, with the Mets, doing Seton Hall during the winter. I'm doing a game with them tonight, actually. And Dave Popkin. not only has it been a big part because there were happenings, but the emotional side of it, the support, the substance behind every day at whether it was Queens College or AM 970 The Answer / AM 570 The Mission, WMCA. The support, the recovery from stumbles, whether on the air, off the air, booking guests, whatever, that sticks with you. And a whole decade of that. And I also appreciate the love and support from Jerry Crowley, the GM of the stations at AM 970 The Answer at Salem Media Group. Thank you to him for all he's done to bring me up into radio, if you will, from a board op to executive producer. It does not happen overnight. I understand that, and I know that. And I appreciate that fact. More and more each day, by the way. They respect the human side of me, and I really appreciate that a lot. And I never want to settle. I never want to say, all right, well, we had a great day. Let's not do it again tomorrow. No, let's do it again tomorrow. You know, this decade's also taught myself about resilience, and through these stations and through Queens College, I've always felt that resilience. Resilience through being able to get chance after chance after chance to prove myself. But resilience also because, yeah, I made mistakes, big ones. But Queens College and 970 and Salem Media, in their own ways, taught me to be even more resilient. To not think about the mistake that was just made. To do better on it. And through that, I progressed into doing actual full-length broadcasts, producing them, recording them. You know, there was a time when I first started here that I felt like an army was watching me produce a show. Now I'm able to get into a studio and do the show, do it right, put the tweets out about it, without supervision, without heavy supervision. And that's progress in the decade's end. To be able to just jump on mic at Queens College after a few years of not doing it for a while and still feel that magic, still feel that aura of doing a soccer game, of doing a basketball, of doing baseball, that never leaves you. That always excites you, you know? So as we close out this decade, I wanted to do another shout out again to all my friends at Queens College and at 970 for always having my back, no matter what, no matter through thick and thin. That's special. That's special. This decade affected me personally, away from work as well. Major changes happened in health, my personal life. Kind of want to reflect on that. So that'll be my last podcast of the decade. And kudos to Spotify, who have 2015 through 19 listed on steps at Penn Station. And those are the years of my quote-unquote come-up. 2015 to 19 was when I really started to push this podcast forward. So thank you for continuing to join us. Thank you for continuing to listen. And may you be blessed on this Monday night, the night before the final night. This is the penultimate night of the decade. Can you believe it? Penultimate night of this decade. Doesn't that shock you? Doesn't that blow your mind? But we're here, baby. Be safe. Have fun. Celebrate wisely. We'll finish up tomorrow and then see you in 2020. I'm Alex Garrett. Keeping it real with Alexander Garrett. Talk to you soon.